All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 494 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today we have a preview of the Falcons Saints game. Pretty much with this rivalry, you can throw all the stats out the window. You can throw all the X's and O's. I mean, I know you have guys that's on the Saints like Cam Jordan, Demario Davis. You know, even to an extent, you know, you have the guy that I don't like the name much. Can't even remember his name. Marcus Lattimore. You Marshawn Lattimore. You have guys like that on the team that you have to be wary of, but you don't necessarily talk about these type of guys when these type of these games go. If you want to talk about anyone from our end, I think it's an X factor here is Desmond Ridder. This would be his first game playing in the NFL as far as a rookie, and he's going to be going up against his rival of the New Orleans Saints. So it's going to be a really big deal for not only him but the Falcons in general. I mean, you're basically looking at a team that's doing a franchise changing move. So we're going to talk about just mainly with Desmond Ridder and a little bit with this team going up against the Saints. So we'll talk about that. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And over here, it's just been a growing movement over here. I mean, a lot of people have been asking questions about the show and what's been going on. Yes, the numbers are looking great as far as YouTube and Rumble. The podcast numbers are moving up as well, but it is around the time of the holiday, so it's not much going on. Plus, my birthday just passed, so not much is going on as far as content because, family time, moving things around, shopping, going places. So usually around this year, not just for my podcast, but other podcasts as well, a lot of people tend to slow down a little bit. Even in the sports world, because, sports still go on a lot around the holidays, but content creators pretty much take a back seat a little bit because they have their own lives. But nevertheless, I do want to thank you guys for the support. You guys have been amazing. And I cannot thank you guys enough. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get into this rivalry. I mean, this is a rivalry that dates back a while. I mean, probably I haven't followed it enough because at one point both teams were like really, really bad. So it was just a rivalry that's like, okay, we played the sorry Saints again. And the Saints probably was thinking like, okay, we played the sorry Falcons again. So, but at the same time, this has been a rivalry that's been going on for at least it dates back to the 70s at least, I want to think. And both teams both cities have a lot of respect for each other as far as the cities. New Orleans, we love New Orleans. New Orleans love Atlanta. We all always, mingle as far as traveling back and forth to the cities because they're very beneficial to, our culture and our livelihood. A lot of things are really, unique, but pretty much the same in various ways. And I think that's one thing we love about each other's city. But as far as the football teams go, we can't stand these teams. I cannot stand I cannot even stand the Saints. I don't like them. I never really liked the team per se. And for them to, pick up Drew Brees and go on a little run, from I think it was like 06 up until maybe now 2000. I want to say the run pretty much lasted up until 20. It was almost a 15-year run, and they were pretty prominent throughout that time. And at the same time, we were pretty decent as well. The Falcons, picked up Matt Ryan in 08, and so it was like a shift to where the teams wasn't really that good until Drew Brees and Matt Ryan came along, and it came to a pretty decent rivalry of sorts. But with that being said, we're now to the point where neither team has a quarterback that they can lean on. I don't even know who the Saints quarterback is. I think is either Andy Dalton, Taysom Hill, James Winston. It's one of those three guys. I don't even know who's starting because, like I said, I don't really look into, as much of the ins and out of personnel. There's a few names you want to talk about, but I just look at when the game is played and I just want to beat this team. just point blank. I mean, you got the Alvin Kamaras of the world, but, we have Tyler Algier. And, I just want to beat this team. For us, we have Desmond Ridder. And Desmond Ridder is going to be our quarterback. It's going to be the first start for him. And it's going to be really interesting because the Saints defense do find ways to confuse quarterbacks. They're not, they're not a terrible defense, but at the same time, they're pretty, respectable. And when you got guys like Demario Davis, Cam Jordan, and, Marshawn Lattimore, you got a couple of guys, Gardner Johnson. You got some guys back there who can actually make a difference in a game if you're not careful. What I expect from Desmond Ridder is something very, very simple. I don't expect them to do much. Probably start off in a game manager role. And if the defense opens up for him, I expect him to be more aggressive. Desmond Ridder does have the tools to be that type of quarterback. And you would want to see that in your quarterback. As far as just having a franchise quarterback, you necessarily don't want a game manager as your franchise quarterback. Don't get me wrong; it's one of the safest things that you can have, but it's not necessarily ideal. You want a guy that can, when need to, not because you have to, when need to be, he could put the game on his back and actually, take over a game or win a game for you. If you rely on that too much, you're going to have a generational talent type of quarterback. And in some cases, you have like an Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, even Josh Allen is coming to that type of quarterback. Justin Herbert is starting to be that guy as well. And you got a few other guys in the league that are looking like they're going to be that type of guy who has that promise. You have other people that are slightly below that, like I said, like the Carson Wentz's, Matt Ryan's of the world, who has that ability, but you don't want them to have that on their shoulders every game. I don't mind if Desmond Ridder is a little bit in between that. I don't want him to be, well, don't get me wrong. I think all of us will want, a quarterback that can just put the game on his shoulders and actually win every game for you. I mean, that's just a luxury, but it's not necessarily ideal. I mean, those guys, like, you only got like 2, maybe 3 guys in the league that are like that. And you're pushing it if you say 5. So I think Desmond Ridder could be that guy to be in betweener. So when he goes up against the Saints, if the offense is rolling like that, or if the defense dictates what they're going to give us, I want him to take advantage of that every single time. So with the Saints, you're going to have opportunities. I mean, we had opportunities against them when we had Marcus Mariota on as the quarterback. We had those opportunities, and we were dominating that game. It just so happened in the fourth quarter, we let it get away from us, and it just continued to add the stigma to what's been going on with this team. I mean, for the most part, we've been, tagged as a team that cannot hold on to wins, can't hold on to victories, and it kind of showed its head like the last couple of times this season. But it was a little bit on the different side of that, where it was a quarterback issue, not necessarily the defense collapsing, because the defense is actually looking pretty good. And if they can once again hold down a offense to 17, 18, 19, 20 points, with Desmond Ridder at the quarterback, I think we should be able to win this game. I see there's no reason why we wouldn't. Desmond Ridder seems like he's one of those type of guys that can actually, put, I ain't gonna say put the team on his back, but take control of a team and take command of a team. And really, that's what you want to see. You want to see if he's going to be able to take command of this offense and direct traffic as far as putting a linebacker, well, not put a linebacker, put the offensive line in place to actually look out for the Mike linebacker, or you have the tight end lined up correctly, the wide receiver lined up correctly. Call an audible when need be. Call the right audible when need be. Wanting guys to run a certain route because he sees the defense somewhere else, or just knowing if he should roll out to the left or the right because he knows where the defense is coming from. Regardless, honestly, I want to win this game, but regardless if you win or lose, if you see that out of Desmond Ridder, you already on the right track of finding the quarterback you want. Now, I know there's already rumblings about us drafting another quarterback in the upcoming draft. And looking at Ridder and Woodside as our two quarterbacks, I'm not against that. I just want to understand, like, if Ridder's actually able to put down some real good, numbers, or actually show that he can be a leader on offense, I don't see there's a reason why would you draft a quarterback in the first 3 rounds, or you know what I'm saying, or even in the first 2 rounds. You got to understand that you got to have you want this quarterback to build and grow. The quarterbacks that are prominent today, excuse me, the quarterbacks that are prominent today, they're not the same quarterbacks that just had a one and done. These guys have basically put in the time and had some growing pains in what they were capable of doing throughout the entire time of becoming that quarterback. So you're going to have some sort of patience with, you got to have some sort of patience with Desmond Ridder, especially with him being a rookie. So I would say at least till next year, you pretty much will know what you have by, the middle part of next year, maybe even the first game of next year. But, after that, he's only only played 5 games by then. If we don't make the playoffs, you only played 5 games by then. And it's still a small sample size. I think you need at least, for a rookie, you need at least 10 games, maybe a whole season to know. So you're probably looking at 16, 17 games before you know what type of quarterback you really have. Does he really catch on to everything? Does he really do things that you want to see him progressing and get better in? It's just something that you have to really, look into. So not much going on with the preview here. I just feel that you're just going to have to look into what Desmond Ridder does. That's just basically what it is. I mean, the rest of the teams, both of these teams are not really vying for a position. I guess you could say they are because the division is so low. But you also have the Panthers and the Bucks. Primarily the Panthers are actually moving up. They're trending up. They're actually looking pretty good with their running game. But for us, all we need to do really is just to win out. If we could do that, we'll be right in the mix. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, we'll see how that plays out. Before I get out of here, I want you guys to check out BetUS. The link is down in the description. That's the affiliate link. Click that link, put down $100. And you put down $100, you'll get 125% bet book bonus. So you can wage on all type of things. You can put the wages on this game that's coming up against the Saints. You can also put down for, I think the final game of the World Cup is up. You also have the NBA, MMA. I think they're still going on. And you have the NBA. So you could go and put your wages down on any of those things. Click that link down below. That helps the channel. Also, you will get 125% bet book bonus. And it's pretty much what it's pretty much what it is over there. It's a pretty nice looking website to do some, nice wages and hopefully you can win some money. If you like this content, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I am on YouTube and Rumble, Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple, Google Podcasts. You guys enjoy your weekend. I think it's going to be a pretty smooth weekend. Some football going on, not much on the college end. I think they have some bowl games coming out. Yeah. I'll probably watch a couple of those, put some wages on that as well. And I will be back and give you guys my opinion on everything that is going on throughout the Saints Falcons game, even with the anything going on Georgia Southern. I know we had a press conference, but not much to talk about there. I'm just waiting for these guys to go play Buffalo. I'm waiting for them. We got about 9-10 days left on that. Wait for them to play them so I can watch that game and enjoy them do it one more time. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. You guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.